from Nitisa Qawin. This is Canal Algérie's nightly news. On to the headlines. The head of state, Abdelmajid Tebboune, grants a presidential pardon on the occasion of the new year. The meeting between the government and governors winds up with a series of recommendations meant to improve the local governance, as announced by the President of the Republic. And the genocidal war on Gaza goes on with new airstrikes carried out by the Zionist war machinery. Welcome back. We begin with tonight's top story as the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, granted the presidential pardon and alleviated measures to 2,471 prisoners, covering the following categories. Full pardon for individuals not yet imprisoned but sentenced definitively with sentence of 24 months or less. Full pardon for imprisoned individuals with sentences of 18 months or less. Partial sentence reduction for jailed individuals with remaining sentences of over 18 months but not exceeding 30 years. Reducing their sentences by up to 10 months. The full and partial sentence reduction period is extended to 24 months for prisoners who are 65 years or older, juveniles, pregnant women, and mothers with children under the age of 3. The head of state also maintained the exclusion from the pardon for some categories as outlined in the presidential decree. Additionally, the president granted full pardon to 14 prisoners for the remaining sentences in crimes related to public order and to grant mitigating measures to 8 prisoners who are still under investigation or trial, also for crimes related to public order. The proceedings of the government meeting with walis or governors wound up on Wednesday with a series of recommendations. The close-in was chaired by the Prime Minister Nadir Al-Arbawi in the presence of Interior Minister and members of the government. Round up with Melissa Kabash.
The proceedings of the event, which lasted 2 days, were marked by 5 workshops devoted to spearheading to a durable development, the achievement of food and water security, the creation of wealth and job positions, the digitization and modernization of public facilities, in addition to city planning and managing, so as to ensure a good quality of life. Regarding finance and budgetary mechanisms, it was recommended to introduce new judicial measures to reinforce the role of governors, in addition to readjusting the public investment programs and the reviewing of the financial aid mechanism. When it comes to food security, the recommendations included the extension of irrigated surfaces and the reinforcement of drought-resistant seeds, the development of storage capacities in cold rooms by facilitating bank loans for the benefit of farmers, the extension of spaces destined for forage crops to control the red meat market, and the development of transformation industry. It was also recommended to establish a consultation mechanism between the governors and the Algerian Agency for the Promotion of Investment in order to speed up the establishment of trade zones in border provinces. Prime Minister Nadir Al-Arbawi indicated the important strategy launched by the President of the Republic as well as the challenges facing the food and financial security.
ستتيح الأطر القانونية التي يتم العمل على إعدادها خاصة.
The legal frameworks being established, especially the ones related to local taxation and partnership between the public and private sectors, the adoption of new innovative methods to finance development projects and reinforce its capacities, food and financial security are among the main challenges facing the development strategy initiated by the President of the Republic to modernize this vital field and kick off important investment projects, including Saharan agriculture and the development of support mechanisms for the benefit of farmers.
كاملة لهذا القطاع الحيوي وإطلاق البرامج الاستثمارية الهامة لا سيما ما تعلق منها بترقية الفلاحة الصحراوية وتطوير آليات الدعم الموجه للفلاحين.
For his part, Interior Minister Ibrahim Murad recalled the importance of these recommendations mentioned during this meeting to further improve the living conditions of citizens.
The get-together, which lasted 2 days, came to a close. It allowed us to listen to the speech of the President of the Republic, who underlined the main guidelines that we must follow. During the 5 workshops, all concerns were evoked, so as the living conditions of citizens, thanks to the instructions given to the governors who will endeavor to implement them on the ground.
Il suffit pas de dire, encore faut-il faire, de manière à ce que les politiques dont il a été à l'origine soit mené convenablement.
At the end, the governors tackled the future programs devoted for the provinces, as well as their determination to improve the living conditions of citizens, the ultimate objective to achieve.
The Premier Nadir Al-Arbawi also presided over a government meeting devoted to the examination of a preliminary draft of the Social Security Bill that aims at empowering women and promoting their rights. In the context of presenting the public utility services status of different sectors, the government listened to a presentation on the measures taken to promote public services of the justice sector. The government also finished studying a draft presidential decree defining conditions and modalities of accepting foreign students in Algerian education and training in the framework of the organizational measures to promote the openness of Algerian college in its appeal. Additionally, the government researched and studied the draft executive decree defining the conditions and modalities of the classification of lands belonging to the public forest domain that aims to promote the measures to protect forest richness. The Algiers Stock Exchange is seeking revival with a new regulatory framework to attract businesses, particularly those in need of financing.
In 2023, total trading value reached 508.9 million dinars, a 268% increase from the previous year. Despite significant challenges, public authorities seem to be steering the market out of stagnation, balancing resilience with emerging positive signs. The Algiers Stock Exchange is poised to play a strategic role in Algiers' economic recovery.
This market is dedicated to companies but also serves as a platform for financial activities through mandatory exhibitions like this one. We currently generate over 1,700 billion dinars in revenue. Additionally, a new financial activities law has been introduced, though it has to be implemented. Financial resources can be secured for two reasons. First, because we have the capacity to do so, and second, to the central bank, though some face constraint due to religious beliefs that discourage individual financial choices.
The goal is clear: to transform the stock market into a tool for financing small and medium-sized enterprises, attracting foreign capital, and in the long term, reducing reliance on oil revenues.
Algiers stock market created in 2021 a market for medium-sized enterprises called small medium-sized enterprises. We have to create a lot more because we already consider that the state is making a lot of efforts that will support smart businesses and large businesses. These are the same enterprises that will give growth and more income to investors.
Although still in its early stages, the Algerian stock market holds untapped potential. With a coherent strategy, an attractive regulatory framework, and increased awareness, it could become a key player in the country's economic development.
On to the operational report of the People's National Army's activity in the past week. In the context of the fight against terrorism, thanks to the efforts of the PNA security services, terrorists named Brigadier Sid Ahmed, known as Abu al-Bara, surrendered to the military authorities of Burj Baji Mukhtar, possession of a Kalashnikov submachine gun, 4 shells for 82mm mortars, quantity of ammunition, other items, while detachments of the PNA arrested 8 support elements of terrorist groups during separate operations across the national territory. In the framework of the fight against organized crime and the continuation of the tireless efforts aimed at countering the scourge of drug trafficking in our country, combined detachments of the PNA intercepted, in coordination with the different security services in operations across the military regions, 33 drug traffickers and averted attempts to introduce 2 quintals and 34 kilograms of processed kief through the borders with Morocco, while 3 FMPK-type machine guns, 2 Kalashnikov submachine guns, and huge quantities of psychotropic tablets amounting to 2,460,000 tablets were seized, 1 kilogram of cocaine and 1,235,500 psychotropic tablets were seized during separate operations across the national territory. Nintam Ras Burj Baji Mukhtar in Gizem Ilizi, detachments of the People's National Army arrested 457 individuals and seized 59 vehicles. 296 generators, 212 jackhammers, 4 metal detectors, as well as quantities of mixture of raw gold and stones, explosives, detonation tools, and other equipment used in illegal gold mining operations. On the other hand, 25 other individuals were arrested, and 12 hunting rifles, 2 pistols, 41,300 liters of fuel, 128 quintals of tobacco, as well as 29 tons of foodstuffs intended for smuggling and speculation were seized during separate operations across the national territory. Similarly, border guards sorted at the level of our national coast attempts at illegal immigration and proceeded to save 7 individuals aboard traditionally made boats, while 44 illegal immigrants of different nationalities were arrested across the national territory. End communique. Coming up soon. Swedish sporting figures arrived on bicycle to the Sahrawi refugee camp to showcase their support for their fair cause. For the situation in the occupied Palestinian territories and the latest developments, more than 10 Palestinians were martyred today, while others are injured following airstrikes by the Zionist entity on different areas in Gaza Strip, while 3 other Palestinians are martyred and others are wounded following the occupation strikes around a school sheltering refugees in Sheikh Radwan, west of Gaza, raising thereby the death toll to over 45,000 martyrs. In other international news, Swedish athletes were warmly welcomed at the Bujdu refugee camp after crossing countries to bike to show their unwavering support for the Sahrawi people and their fair cause. More with Melissa Balaman.
The Swedish athletes and activists Benjamin, Sanai and Leif were welcomed with applause and cries of joy at the Bujdur refugee camp. They traveled 26 countries, clocking the distance in more than 2 years by bike to express their unwavering support for the fair struggle of the Sahrawi people in quest of independence.
These Swedish athletes traveled more than 6,000 kilometers in 26 countries while hoisting the Sahrawi flag.
Thanks to this noble act, these athletes have contributed to raise awareness around the Sahrawi cause.
This initiative allowed them to get closer to people from many other countries to make them more aware of the daily suffering and struggle of the Sahrawi people in order to mobilize further support for their cause.
The Sahrawi people are our top priority. Their struggle and exemplary resistance inspire us, symbolized by emblematic figures such as Sultana Khaya and Aminatu Haidar, who battled daily against the Moroccan oppressor.
We are here today to support the fight of the Sahrawi people until the Western Sahara is freed.
The Sahrawi people remain unshakable and determined in their fight for their just cause, despite the constant violations committed against them by the Moroccan occupier. Voices are raising across the world calling for an international mobilization for the Sahrawi people's freedom and their right to self-determination.
In Morocco, the fragile measures taken by the Makhzen have fueled drug trafficking locally and beyond. In Spain, 7 Moroccan smugglers were arrested after a clash between 3 boats transporting drugs from Morocco. Full story with Menan Maafa.
The Strait of Gibraltar has become a hotspot for cannabis trafficking. Spanish police recently arrested 7 Moroccan smugglers on the Andalusian coast after a clash between 3 drug boats off Morocco. 2 boats carrying hashish collided with a third, reportedly from Spain, injuring several traffickers before it fled, according to the Guardia Civil. The collision of 3 ghost boats and ensuing clashes left several injured, including one in a state of brain death. The violence highlights rivalries over control of maritime routes in Morocco's booming cannabis trade, which dominates global supply and floods Europe. The region has become a key hub for illegal hashish trade. Once again, the Makhzen reveals its role as a hub for international trafficking, fueling organized crime that spreads insecurity and devastates entire generations and societies.
Sport now. Algeria snatched 5 gold medals in different categories as part of the Arab Military Boxing Championship being held by our country. Algeria's harvest is expected to rise as 7 other Algerian boxers will be competing tomorrow in several categories with the possibility of getting more medals. The annual Algerian South Sports Week started yesterday in El Oued, aiming to include these regions in the national program and discover new young talents, with the first week marked by judo and karate, where the girls excelled. Melissa Balaman.
The official kickoff of the event was given in a festive atmosphere and in the presence of local authorities and the president of the Algerian Olympic Committee. The karate events ended with the victory of Nina from Wargla among the girls in Keira and Mohamed Iyad Mekmi from Biskra in Kumait among the boys under 57 kilograms. In the judo contest, the victory went to Zainab Bouazza from Adrar in the under 48 kilograms category and Ansar Bakdorj for the category under 57 kilograms.
I'm very happy because I ranked first in the 57 kilograms category.
The Olympic South Sports Week remains a very important annual event in the Algerian sports calendar.
28 provinces are participating in the sport event that aims at delving children from the Great South in the sports field and instilling in them the Olympic spirit.
The competitions will continue over the upcoming days, particularly in judo, basketball and boxing.
The end. Thank you for watching. Be well.